Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Ainsworth, and we're going to get into a construction here in Activity 3B1 in MRWZ. Okay, and in the previous one, and I started off with the first construction here where we had to use a compass and a straight edge to construct the irrational number, the square root of 8 minus 2 on the number line. All right, and I got you started there. The key was to construct root 2, okay, because when you simplify root 8, if you look over here on the left, is root 4 times root 2, which equals 2 root 2. So you have to know how to construct root 2, which we did in prior lessons here, and then using the distance of root 2, which in this case is from A to B, okay, or on the number line here from A to D, okay, you can simply go use that distance with your compass and mark off 2 root 2, and then come back 2 units to get to root 8 minus 2, which as a decimal is about 0.8 roughly, rounded to the nearest tenth, which is obviously less than 1. So the end result was a little bit before 1 because 0.828 is obviously less than 1. So whatever you do in your construction here, accuracy is important, and you better end up where you ought to be. Okay, so I use the calculator just to get a feel for the number, and meaning as a like a numerical number there. And so our answers will make sense when we're all done. So for example, root 18 minus 3, you have to know what that is. Now, the square root of 16 is 4. So this number here, root 18, is a little bit bigger than 4. Maybe like 4.1 or something like that. Let's find out, actually. All right, so I'm saying 4.1, maybe 4.2. So I'm going to enter that in my calculator here, the handy dandy TI-84, okay? And then we're going to estimate it here. I said it was a little bit bigger than 4. I said 4.1 or 4.2. I was close, 4.24. So roughly 4.2. And when you take this and subtract 3, we should get, obviously, 1.2. So minus 3, that's about 1.24. So let's make a little note here. All right, so the square root of 18 minus 3 is approximately equal to, again, look at the calculator right here, about 1.24. All right, 1.24, so 1.2. So this is obviously greater than 1. Okay, so our end result, when we construct root 18 minus 3, better be a little bit bigger than 1 and less than 2, because it's in the middle there. 1.24 is between 1 and 2. Keep that in mind. Now, you have to simplify the root first, okay, in order to do I mean, you don't have to, but it's the easiest way to do it. So let's simplify the root. And I'm not talking about the calculator here. I'm talking about simplifying. So the square root of 18, all right, is equal to the square root of 9 times the square root of 2. I use the factors of 9 and 2 versus 3 and 6 because 3 and 6 are not squares, but 9 is. That's why I did that. The square root of 9 is 3. So I get 3 rad 2. Okay, so another way to think about this is 3 root 2 minus 3, and that'll give you the same thing. Okay, if you don't believe me, let's check it out. So I evaluated root 18 minus 3, I got 1.24. So now let's evaluate 3 times the square root of 2. All right, make sure you close off the parentheses right there before you subtract. Okay, otherwise you're not going to get the right answer. And notice we get the same value. Okay. So my goal is to get a placement of root 18 minus 3 a little bit bigger than 1, less than 1.5, obviously, and it's going to be between 1 and 2. It's going to be a little bit to the right of 1. That's my end result. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to construct root 2, and then I'm going to use 3 times that. So 3 segment lengths of root 2. So root 2 is the goal, first goal. All right, and we already did that. We do that up here, and we did that in prior lessons. So my goal is to construct an isosceles right triangle with the legs length equal to 1. So 1, 1, root 2. You should be familiar with that already, so let's do it again. So what I'm going to do is adjust the compass from 1 to 2. Excuse me, from 0 to 1. Sorry. Okay, I got to find 2. So be very accurate here. Open up your compass and adjust it. Okay, I cannot be, entirely accurate on this computer, believe it or not, because it can only adjust so much. Yeah, that's as close as I can get it. All right, so go ahead and adjust your compass from 0 to 1. Rotate. Let's find 2. Okay, 2 on the number line. Okay, obviously it's 2 units to the right of 0. So you got to use a little bit of common sense here. All right, so let's do that. Let's label. So I have 0 here, 1 here, and then 2 here. So we label as we go. That's one of the requirements of the constructions. Label all points constructed. I constructed 2 by adjusting my compass from 0 to 1. Okay, and then root 2 is about 1.4. Remember that? It's up here on the screen already. So it's a little bit, it's between 1 and 2 and a little less than 1.5 because 1.4 is less than 1.5. Okay, so make sure everything makes sense. Now I need to make a right triangle, all right, with an isosceles right triangle with both legs equal to 1. So I need to draw a perpendicular through 1. All right, to do that requires a perpendicular bisector using 1 and 2. So I'm going to open up my compass a little bit more than halfway. I'm going to switch to green like I always do here. Oh, you want to make your arcs thin and light, so I'm going to redo that. I always suggest everybody do that so you can be very accurate. Now, if your lines are not thin and light, then you're not going to be very accurate. So keep that in mind. Okay, so now at 0, repeat it. There we go. All right. Now get your handy dandy straight edge. All right, let's do it like the Greeks did it. Okay, so let's bring that over here, and we have to line up the intersection points. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's highlight them here in red. All right, now you got to be very careful here and very accurate. So make sure you line up that, and then if you do it correctly, well, it should go right through 1. The perpendicular bisector is between 0 and 2 better go through 1. Okay, there we go. So now I have a perpendicular bisector forming a right triangle. All right, and let's go ahead and label some points here. Let's call 0 point A. Let's call this one point B and this one point C. We're going to connect A and B together, and that's going to be length root 2. All right, just like the previous construction. So if you look up here at the top, the same thing. It's an isosceles right triangle with the legs equal to 1. And it's going to give us a hypotenuse of root 2. So let's go ahead and, again, get your straight edge here. Okay, whenever you want to make a segment or a line, you got to get that straight edge out. No freehanding here. Okay, now be very accurate on this one here because we use the square root of 2 for other things, and if this is inaccurate, well then, everything else is going to be inaccurate too, right? I want black. Okay, so here we go. Oh, that's too thick. There we go. Okay, so now I have the square root of 2. So let's label here. So this is the square root of 2 right here. So AB, just like on the previous construction, is square root of 2. So what we do is we take our compass, and to locate the square root of 2 on the number line, okay, we adjust it from A to B. All right. This is exactly what I did in the previous one. This is why I've prepped you guys so much. You have to get good at the basics, and this is a basic. All right, if you don't know how to calculate root 2, construct root 2 on the number line, well, then you're not going to get anything else, okay? So you have to get good at the basics. All right, so let's go ahead and construct this. Wherever it hits the number line is going to be the square root of 2. So here we go. Let's label. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay, so yeah, okay. So right here, let's label the square root of 2. And remember, that's about 1.4. That's an approximate equal to sign right there. And notice a little bit less than 1.5 units. So my construction is accurate. It makes sense because root 2 is about, okay, 1.4, which is less than 1.5, obviously. All right, so it should be between, or less than half the distance between 1 and 2. So keep that in mind. All right, now I need 3 root 2. Okay, well, that's easy to get, right? So, oops, I didn't mean to do that. So let's get our compass here. Now, notice that I adjusted it to root 2, right? That's how I got root 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that. Okay, so notice I'm going to just change my orientation of the compass right here. So I have it adjusted to root 2. Okay, and now Let me just double check that. I don't know if I changed it or not. No, I got it right. Okay, so I adjusted it to root 2. And I shifted over here to root 2, and I get 2 root 2. So you got to mark and label as you go. Okay, so notice that I showed the arc. You got to show all arcs. And then shift over here. Okay, and do it again. All right. 1 root 2, 2 root 2, 3 root 2. Oh my gosh, this is hard stuff. Okay, so you shift that off to the side. You got to label. Okay, so let's label. Okay, so this distance from here to here, this is root 2. This distance is also root 2. So this is 2 root 2. 1 root 2 plus 2 root 2. Excuse me, 1 root 2 plus 1 root 2 is, oh my gosh, it's 2 root 2. And then you shift over here again. All right, another root 2 units. All right, you're at 3. Oops. 3 times the square root of 2. Okay, look at that. Let me draw that a little bit better here. There we go. 3 root 2. There we go. So 1 root 2 plus 1 root 2 plus 1 root 2 gives you 3 root 2. Now I want root 18 minus 3, which is 3 root 2, and then subtract 3. So I got to come back 3 units to the left. So whenever you subtract, you're going to be going left on the number line. Whenever you add, you're going to be going right on the number line. So you guys got to, use a little common sense. All right, so now you have to adjust the compass from 0 to 1. All right, so let's do that. And I'm going to switch to purple here. So you adjust the compass from 0 to 1, and you got to come back 3 units. So now we're at 3 root 2, and I've got to subtract 3. So let's subtract 1 here. Oh, that's too thick. Again, make all your lines thin, all right? So right here, come back 1 unit right there. Move the compass. All right, come back again. That's minus 2. And then come back again. And that's minus 3. All right, now let's label. So I come back, minus 1 right here, minus 1 again, minus 1 again. So this obviously is a minus 3, and now my goal is right here. Now, the original number, if you recall here, look at this. Root 18 minus 3 is approximately about 1.24, all right, which is less than 1.4 and greater than 1. So my construction makes sense. All right, so here we go. Let's write down our result. So this point right here that I found is the square root of 18 minus 3. Okay, there's my goal. So I found it, and it makes sense because it is, like I keep on saying here, keep repeating myself, the square root of 18 minus 3 is 1.24. We talked about that on the calculator, okay? And so it's got to be greater than 1, and it's got to be less than 1.4, right? Because 1.2 is less than 1.4. So use your calculator and get a decimal equivalent, okay? So this is, obviously the only calculator step just to make sense out of the number. It's obviously greater than 1, it's less than root 2, and it's less than 2 for sure, okay? So again, when you're subtracting, you're going to be moving left, all right? When you're adding, you're going to be moving right. So again, moving right, like root 2 units, or moving left when you subtract. And that's all there is to it. And you just have to get good at it. So, and the way you get good at it is by trying new things, all right? All right, so let's do this one more time, and let's get good at it here. Oops. Okay, so let me grab my tools, my geometric tools here, which the Greek used back in the day. All right, so let's do this thing here. Let's put off the straight edge off to the side. Let's bring the compass over here. Now the square root of 32 minus 4. Well, all right, so let's work with that here. Okay, so the square root of 32, oops. The square root of 32, so the square root of, okay, let me adjust here. There we go, so the square root of 32 minus 4. What is that on the calculator? Well, the square root of 36 is 6. So this number here, the square root of 32, has got to be under 6. All right, less than 6. So I estimate maybe I don't know, 3.6, excuse me, 5.6, 5.7 or something like that. Okay, so let's do it. Square root of 32. Okay, look at that. I was very, very close. Okay, and then you got to subtract 4. All right, and that number minus 4 is positive. All right, and you get about 1.65. All right, so first of all, this number is about 1.65, so a little bit more than 1.5. Now we want to simplify this. All right, so we're going to, the factors of 32, let's factor it here. Okay, so factoring the square root of 32. Oh no, you know what? Let's factor, just factor it. Okay, 32 divided by 2 is 16. Whoa, that's a square. Let's stop. So the square root of 32 is equal to the square root of 16 times the square root of 2, which is 4 rad 2. Okay, so this is equivalent to 4 rad 2 minus 4. And there's the key. All right. So we're going to have to construct root 2 again, and then use 4 root 2's to get to 4 root 2 or root 32. So that means we have to construct root 2 again. Okay, so let's get good at that. All right, I need to find out where 2 is. So let's do that first, just like I did before. We have to adjust the compass from 0 to 1. Now again, this is a video, right guys? So when you use a video, go ahead and pause and play all the time until you get it. Okay, so let's draw the arcs thin and light. Here we go. Let's find it. And again, you notice there's a little bit of error right here because I cannot adjust the digital compass exactly on 0. It's just it's impossible. Technology is not perfect, so I can do this a whole lot better on paper, more accurately, meaning. Okay, so here we go. Let's label. So that's 2. We got 0. We got 1. We got 2. Now, once again, we construct the perpendicular bisector using 0 and 2. Just to compass a little bit more than halfway. Construct 2 arcs, and the perpendicular bisector goes right through the middle. Switch hands, try it on the other side. All right. Now we get those intersection points. Let's label them. Okay, see the 2 points in red? Let's connect those together with the straight edge. All right, boom, right there. Adjust it. All right, and draw a line, thin and light. Okay. Whoa, not like that. Okay, that's bad. Okay, what happened there? What's going on here? There we go. That was weird. Okay. You know, doing this digitally is not easy to do. So there, I have a right triangle right in through here. Okay, let's highlight the points again. So let's call this one A, B, C. All right, connect A and B to get root 2. So bring it over my straight edge here and connect A and B. Line it up, be exact. There you go. All right, I just constructed root 2 again, so let's label that. The hypotenuse on a isosceles right triangle is root 2. All right, let's see. Let's just highlight the triangle in this one. I forgot to do that earlier in the previous one. Okay, so there's your isosceles right triangle right there. So the legs are both 1, okay? And again, A, B is the square root of 2, and it's an isosceles right triangle with both side lengths equal to 1. 1, 1, root 2 is a right triangle, an isosceles right triangle. Okay, now we got to get root 2 on the number line because I need that, okay? So we adjust our compass from A to B. It should already be adjusted. No, it's not adjusted. I'm sorry. We haven't done that part yet. So we adjust it from A to B. So notice that. Okay, and again, pause the video, pause and play, pause and play. Okay, go slow and go at your own pace. Okay. Okay, now that's not perfect, but that's close enough. Again, I can't do this exactly, super accurate, and I do it as accurate as possible. Okay, let's highlight the points as we go. We always do that. Okay, you have to show me where the points are. So that's root 2. So from 0 to root 2 is length root 2. Okay, again, that's AB. I adjusted my compass from A to B, rotated down, and I got root 2, which is 1.4. Remember that. This is approximately equal to 1.4. Got to keep that in your mind, which is less than 1.5 units, so I know I'm accurate so far. Now I need to get 4 root 2. Well, that's easy to get. So from 0 to root 2 is root 2. Let's see here. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to shift it over to root 2 and repeat it. Okay, so that's 2 root 2. There's 3 root 2 right here. Okay, and there's 4 root 2. And notice that the line is not long enough. All right, do you think we have a problem right there? Of course we don't, okay? Why? Because you get your straight edge out and you just line it up and make the line longer. And I'm surprised at people that you got to use your common sense a little bit. All right, so extend the line. Okay, now let's label. All right, so here we go. So we got 1 root 2, 2 root 2, 3 root 2, 4 root 2. Okay, or you could say root 32. Okay, there's 4 root 32 right there. Now you want to construct root 32 minus 4. Okay, so we got to come back 4 units. No worries. Okay, so let's adjust the compass to the length equal to 1. Okay, so that's no big deal. Just adjust your compass from A to C, which is length 1. Be very accurate right there. Let's come back in green here. Okay, so now I'm at root 32 or 4 root 2, either one. And I'm going to mark off the segment lengths of 1. Okay, so here we go. Let's try it. So there's minus 1 right there. We're going to come back here in a minute. Let's come back minus 4 total. So there's minus 2. Right here, here's minus 3. One more time, minus 4. Okay, so let's put this off to the side and let's label. So I came back 1 unit, 2 units, that's a minus 2, minus 3, minus, well, these are all minus 1, sorry. So this is, I shouldn't have labeled it like that. So minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. So when you combine 4 negative 1s, you get a minus 4. So all of this right here, all right, is a minus 4 total. And this is where we end up right here. So let's highlight it. And this is the square root of 32 minus 4, which, as we said earlier, is right here, 1.65. So 1.65. And notice that it's greater than root 2. Root 2 is 1.4, as I keep on saying, right? And 1.6 is obviously greater than 1.4. It's more than 1.5 units away, so this is accurate, okay? So actually, I did a good job on the computer, which, by the way, is not easy to pull off. This is not easy to do. You try it. Okay, and that's the beginning of the activity. Now, there are more things to do. You have more things to try and realize here. So in these next constructions, these are ones that are a little bit different here. All right, and I'm not going to do all these constructions. You can. All right. That's part of your job right there. But let me just say that when you're constructing root 12, when you factor root 12, right here, obviously 12 is 4 times 3. So root 12 is root 4 times the square root of 3 times, and that is equal to 2 rad 3. So in this one, you need to construct root 3. Now to do that, okay, to do that requires you guys to build a triangle here where the one side is root 2 and the other side is length 1. All right, to get root 3. We talked about that as well. We've actually done this before. So you can look back at your notes if you like. You construct root 2 first, and then you can construct root 3 second. All right, and then you can get root 12, right? Because it's just 2 times the square root of 3. In fact, you know what? I'll do this one here. I'll do this one with you guys. So again, here we go again. Get your, we need a compass and a straight edge. So let's get our tools. Here we go. We need a straight edge as well. Let's put it down here. All right, so let's construct root 2 first. All right, so this is goal. Let's highlight. Let's write it down. So right here, construct first. Okay, and then this one here, root 3, we're going to construct second. Okay, so goal 1 and goal 2. Now, I've already constructed root 2 twice today. So hopefully you're getting the hang of this now. So we got to figure out where 2 is, all right? So we got to construct right triangles here. So here we go. Draw your arcs thin, okay? Locate 2 on the number line. Here we go. So let's highlight and label. So there's 2, here's 1, and here's 0. I'm going to use those points. So at 2, adjust your compass a little bit more than halfway. Go ahead and rotate. Switch hands. All right. Same thing at 0. All right. And let's construct that perpendicular bisector. Line up the points of intersection right here, and it should go right through 1. Okay, so now let's label again. Always label as you go. So let's call this point A, point B, point C, and let's connect A to B to get root 2. Okay, so I just got root 2. Okay, so A, B is equal to the square root of 2. And we have an isosceles right triangle again. This one here. It's an isosceles right triangle with side lengths equal to 1. Pause the video and just catch up with me here. We got to find, whoops, we got to find the root 2 on the number line. So we need grab our handy dandy compass here. All right, so adjust it from A to B, because you're going to adjust it from A to B and rotate down. All right. Okay, so here we go. Adjust from A to B, rotate down. Now I just located the square root of 2 on the number line. So there's the square root of 2. So you adjust it from A to B and rotate down. Adjust, okay, from A to B, okay, and rotate down. Rotate down to number line. This is the key step. Now I have root 2. Now to get the square root of 3, all I need is a perpendicular side, okay, to root 2 here, which I have on the number line. So I need a perpendicular with length 1. Okay, now to get a perpendicular through 2, I need 2 points equidistant from root 2. This is a key step here, and this is the very first video I talked about. How do you construct, how do you construct lines, okay, perpendicular lines through a point on the line? So I'm going to adjust the compass. Let's see, I'm going to adjust it right around here. You just want to find 2 points, 1 point on the right of root 2, 1 point on the left. Okay, and I'm going to switch colors here just so you can see things better. Purple is good. Again, thin and light. So here we go. So adjust the compass. You can pick any radius you want, but try to make it so that they don't overlap. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna pick a bigger radius. I'm gonna erase that. I'm gonna pick it. Just go a little bit beyond 2. Yeah, that should be a little bit more clear. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit more clear for you on your construction. Okay, so now I found 2 points equidistant from root 2. So I'm going to use this point right here and this point right here. And just to talk about them and refer to them here, I'm going to call them, just give them some names here, x, all right, and y. So using x and y, I'm going to construct a perpendicular through root 2. That requires the compass. Whenever you want to construct a perpendicular, it requires points equidistant from the point. All right. So look at x and y here. X and y are equidistant from root 2. Now put your compass at x and then extend it, open it up here. Okay, so so you don't want the arcs to overlap. Now you could construct the perpendicular bisector and draw the entire arcs, but that would make your drawing and your construction really messy. All right, so don't do that. So look in blue here. I'm going to construct 2 arcs, one from x, then from y, and they're going to intersect up here above the diagram. Okay, then shift it over here to y and do the same thing. Okay, so notice that these 2 arcs intersect up here. So just bring that off to the right. So these 2 arcs came from x and y, which are equidistant from root 2. Let's go ahead and label. Okay, now with your straight edge, let's get the straight edge now. We should be able to construct a perpendicular through it too. And it's important that it's a perpendicular because all of these are right triangles. Okay, so something happened here. I'm a little bit off, so let me check. B's one from X and then from Y. Let me check here. Let me redo this. That's weird. My arcs don't erase. What happened here? Give me a second here. I'm just double checking things. Okay, so let me repeat this procedure here. So always double check. Okay, let me get a different point or a different color here. Okay, so one arc from X. Oops, I don't want to make it that long. That's not necessary to be that long. Just construct 2 arcs up here, one up here, and then the other one we have to go from the other point right here, which is Y. Let's see if I can make this more accurate this time. Okay, let's see if I made that happen. So here we go. Let's test this out. Let's get straight edge here. And we should have a perpendicular through it too. It's close enough. Okay. So let's draw this here. There's a perpendicular through root 2. All right, so I intersected here and here. Okay, and so that should give me a right angle because it's a perpendicular. All right, now I need, okay, let's go back to basics here. Whoops, don't want to do that. Get a little crazy right now. I need to construct a vertical distance of length 1. Okay, so it's basically this side of the triangle has to be length 1, which has to be the same as the distance from B to C. Okay, so let's get a distance of 1 here. So adjust it from 0 to 1 again. So just you're going to have to readjust your compass here. Okay, so again, distance from 0 to 1. Readjust. Notice it's the same. I'm going to switch to black here. All right, now what I'm going to do is bring it over here to root 2 and then figure out where length 1 is. So watch closely now. Okay, so I've got it right at root 2. the radius is set at 1 unit. Construct a little arc there, and it'll show you where the 1 unit length is. So using this point right here, let's call this point D. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to construct that triangle. So get your straight edge again and connect A to D. Here we go. So the distance from A to D is going to be root 3. So A to D is the square root of 3. You might be asking why. Well, this side length here is root 2. This distance right here, all right, is equal to 1. And notice on the first triangle that I gave you here on the right, if you take root 2 squared plus 1 squared, that equals root 3 squared. I'm using the Pythagorean Theorem here. Okay, 2 plus 1 equals 3, and that's why this works. Okay, so if you build a triangle or construct a triangle with the side lengths root 2 and 1, then the hypotenuse is root 3. So this is the key right here. AD is length root 3. So I'm almost done with the construction here. All right, so you adjust your compass from 0 from A to D, which is length root 3, and then rotate down. Here we go. What's going on here? Okay. Hang on. Just checking here. So I'm going to adjust it from A to D and then rotate down. Okay, for some reason here. Okay, here we go. So look at that black arc from A to D, rotate down, and I just found root 3. Now root 3, just so you know, I'm not sure if I've done this yet. The square root of 3, if you work this out, is about 1.7. All right, so this is approximately equal to 1.7, which is definitely less than 2. It's bigger than 1.5 and less than 2. And obviously it's greater than root 2. So root 3, is greater than root 2, all right, which means it's greater than 1.4. All right, so it's got to be to the right. Let's label here, and this is the square root of 3, which is about 1.7, as I just said earlier. Okay, so my accuracy looks good because it's definitely less than 2, all right, and that was my goal. Okay, so we've done this before, okay, but I just showed you again how to get root 3, and now to get root 12, okay, root 12, where is that? Where did I discuss root 12? Root 12, oh, here we go, at the very top, it's 2 root 3. Okay, so we're not quite done yet, right? Because I got root 3, all right? Now I got to get 2 root 3. So you adjust your compass from 0 to root 3, which should already be adjusted. All right, come over here at root 3 and do one more root 3. Okay. 1 root 3 plus 1 root 3 is 2 root 3. So 2 times the square root of 3. So I went 0 to root 3 is 1 root 3, and then you shift over again, another root 3. 1 root 3 plus 1 root 3 gives you 2 root 3, and that was my goal. This is goal number 2, all right? Well, actually, goal number 3. Root 2 was goal number 1. Root 3 was goal number 2, all right? And this is goal number 3, actually, if you want to be technical. All right, so this is my main goal. So I'm not going to say goal number 3, I'm going to say main goal. All right, the reason why is because 2 root 3 is the same thing as root 12. And there we go. All right, and you just have to get creative and work hard and learn how to do it. And once you put in the time, okay, you can, okay? Your job now is to continue, construct the sum of root 7 and root 5, and then if you do that, all right, then you can answer the following questions that follow that, okay? So I'm going to leave this up to you. You guys construct root 5 and then construct root 7, then add them together on the number line and figure out if that's the same as root 12, okay? And you can answer those following questions. Now, so there's a lot more to do, all right? The first thing we did earlier, if you recall, we constructed root 8, which minus 2, which was 2 root 2 minus 2. So I showed you guys how to construct root 2 and use that to your advantage. Then we constructed root 18 minus 3, which we found out to be the same as, let me see where to go, over here on the right, 3 root 2 minus 3. Okay, and then thirdly, we constructed root 32 minus 4. And then the last one I just did right here in number 4, all right, is constructing root 12, which depends on root 3 and root 2. All right, so yeah, I know that's a lot, okay, but you guys, you know, use the technology, use the video to your advantage, pause and play throughout the video, practice multiple times, and it becomes easy, okay? Well, not easy, but it becomes doable. Let's put it that way. All right, this is Mr. Ainsworth, okay, here in MRWC. I'll see you in my next lesson. Bye-bye.